Everybody is talking about President Uhuru Kenyatta's speech at the Faith Evangelical Ministries Church on Sunday, yesterday. One of the reasons why everybody is talking about it is because it was sincere. It was a speech from the heart. Now we all know that speeches from the heart are very rare from politicians, especially Kenyan politicians. Now, as regulars on this channel will know, I'm a very serious student of reading body language, and I observed the president's body language very carefully. And I can tell you, without any doubt on my mind, it was from the very bottom of his heart. It was sincere. However, we cannot ignore the fact that in Kenya today, and even outside Kenya, there's still a large number of Kenyans who don't believe that the fight against corruption is serious. They believe that it is all for show. What they mean is that the president is play acting. He's pretending to go after people involved in corruption. He's pretending to deal with impunity. And at some point, there'll be a big about turn and things will go back to normal. That's really what people are saying. But is that true? How can it be true? Well, I guess what they're saying is that it's possible to destroy a multi-million shilling building, like the UK Centre in Westlands, and the other mall along Langata Road, bring them down with a bulldozer, and then when the play acting is over, put it back up. Folks, let's be honest with ourselves. Is that possible? And I guess it's also possible, to arrest a very big man worth billions of shillings, have that man spend a night or two inside police cells which he has never in his life seen, charge them in court, and with all the embarrassment that goes with that, with all the character assassination that goes with such an activity, and then be able to undo it tomorrow when the play acting is over. Now I know we have a lot of young Kenyans on this channel, who only hear about what used to happen before, the play acting that was going on before. They only hear and they read about it. Therefore, they do not know firsthand what they're talking about. Now, you'll have to believe me, the farthest this play acting has ever gone was when a cabinet minister, who had been dropped from the cabinet at that time, a man who was a confidant of President Daniel Arap Moi, very close to Moi, was arrested, allegedly arrested. Of course, I'm talking about a man called Nicholas Biwott. And it is very important to note that Biwott was not arrested for corruption. He was a very corrupt man, yes, but he was not arrested for corruption. He was arrested for suspicion of being involved in the murder of former Foreign Affairs Minister John Robert Ouko. I believe this was in 1991-1992. And this alleged arrest did not lead Biwott into a police cell or any kind of cell. He was held at a luxury place somewhere in GSU headquarters, General Service Unit headquarters. He never appeared in handcuffs. To this day, nobody knows where he was held. Indeed, it is possible the man just slept in his house as normal, as usual. And then the arrest story was planted in the media. Let's get this very clear. Never ever before in the history of Kenya have we had very senior people, cabinet secretaries, former governors, current governors, arrested and thrown inside police cells. Never ever. Never have we had a situation where the lawyers of these big people start running here and there, scampering all over the place to get their release from police cells. And then judges refuse. They side with the prosecution and they say there's reason to keep on holding these very big people inside smelly, dirty police cells. Folks, that has never happened before. Never ever. But some Kenyans claim that all this is play acting, which will come to an end soon. The fight against corruption, according to some Kenyans, is not serious. Well, everybody is allowed to have their own opinion. It's a democratic right. However, I think it is a good idea to have opinions that are based on fact, not emotion. Because the truth is, the opinions which were negative towards the president's speech at Faith Evangelical Ministries Church, those opinions are based on nothing else but emotion. They are not based on facts. That is the truth. But I'll come back to that in a minute. The other thing that is different this time round, we have never had play acting claiming or alleging to go after corruption that has ended up in such serious changes in the country called Kenya. People are scared of corruption. That is a fact. So I guess they're scared of play acting. Gosh. Anyway, we're going for a very short commercial break. I'll be back in a second, in a few seconds, and then I'll tell you something that will make your ears ring. See you in a bit. Welcome back. Now, the president said something in his speech, that took me aback. He said that one of the people who called him, one of these friends he has lost, told him the following: how can you just sit there and watch all this damage to property? You must stop it. Something to that effect. I may not be completely accurate, but that was the gist of what he was told. Now think about it for a minute. Who in the Republic of Kenya, has the guts, the authority, the confidence to speak to the President of the Republic of Kenya like that? Who? Now we know that Kenyans on social media have sometimes gone overboard. But social media is different from calling somebody who you already have a relationship with, the President of the Republic of Kenya. And by the way, those who follow this channel know my stand on this very well. I respect the office of the presidency. And I've often advised Kenyans, you don't have to follow my advice, but I've often advised Kenyans, even if you don't respect the man, that's you, please respect the office. Even if the election was stolen, legally, that is the President of Kenya. Respect the office. Now, I've been one of the harshest critics of the president on this channel, and indeed I will continue to criticize anything I see in the president that is not for a better Kenya. However, even when I criticize, I respect the office. Call me old-fashioned, but that's just me, and I have no apologies to make. Anyway, back to my question. How many people can speak to the president like that within Kenya? Well, only relatives, and very close friends. Indeed, I have a theory, and this theory is based on bits and pieces of information. And it is this: there are some members of the president's family, who are against this fight against impunity. Now, according to me, when a man is fighting for a better Kenya, because they are fighting against impunity, that great enemy to Kenya, and some members of his own family are against him, I have no option but to take off my hat for such a Kenyan. I have no option but to support such a Kenyan to the hilt. You know, Kenyans are a very funny lot, because some people want something to be achieved for the country. Many people want a better Kenya. But it seems that most Kenyans are very particular as to who is going to be used to bring about that better Kenya. According to them, it must be their favorite politician or they're not interested in a better Kenya. Now come on, that's ridiculous. In other words, what they're saying, if it is not William Ruto leading this fight against corruption, it is fake. If it is not Raila Odinga at the forefront leading this fight against corruption, it is fake, and I will not support it. If it is not Miguna leading this thing, it is completely fake, and I will never support it. I will never support despots. Again, it is your right to have your own opinion. But in my view, some Kenyans are losing a very big opportunity, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to put things right in Kenya. Like we have been presented with an opportunity to slay that huge monster and dragon called impunity. And then some people are still dilly-dallying, waiting for their favorite politician to fall in line, before they support the killing, the slaying, the destruction of this huge monster that has destroyed our country. In my view, Kenyans should take this opportunity and ride with the wave. And we can achieve a lot simply by riding with the wave. For instance, there are some Kenyans, from Western Kenya and Nyanza, who are at the forefront of a campaign to have parliament dissolved and a fresh election called for parliamentarians. This was triggered by the recent claims, and indeed there was even evidence on video from phones and so on, of parliamentarians taking bribes to shoot down the sugar report, to protect certain people. Now, according to me, it makes perfect sense for Kenyans to fully back the president and to fully back this latest initiative. Use what you have now to achieve what you want. Folks, what we have now is a dragon-slaying president. Let's use that opportunity to the fullest. So if we have an opportunity to clean parliament, let's clean parliament. Let's rid parliament of corrupt people. And of course, we'll be sending a very clear message that when we elect you into parliament, we do not elect you to go and make money from corruption. Kenyans can use the same wave to demand the arrest of certain people. Certain people whom we know are corrupt. You just ride with the wave. That's how you get things done. Now, let me just give you an example of what's going on here. We have a lot of Chinese in the country building the SGR. Kenyans do not like the Chinese. And indeed, allegations of what the Chinese have been doing to Kenyans in recent times have angered many Kenyans. And you notice that the Chinese really like snails. So there's a business opportunity there of starting a snail farm, breeding them and selling them to the Chinese so that they don't have to import that delicacy. And you do your calculations and you see that your profits run into millions. However, you decide you're not going to do it. Why? Because you don't like the Chinese. I don't like the Chinese, therefore I will not sell anything to them. I will not do anything. I will find another business opportunity. Get serious. Leave your emotions out of it and make some money. Kenyans, my dear fellow Kenyans, leave your emotions out of it and let us slay this dragon of impunity. Let us support President Uhuru Kenyatta fully, 100%, 1000%. And let us go even beyond that and demand the arrest of certain people. Demand the resignation of certain people we know are corrupt. Why are corrupt people still sitting in parliament? The court cases are not going quite fast enough. Kenyans should demand for the whole of parliament to go home. And we should push for this, even with legal means. Get a court case going, put pressure on the executive. Support the president to the full and ask him to send these guys home, to help us send these guys home. Because the dragon of impunity is also within parliament. Is it not? Are our MPs clean? Our president has started cleaning the house, and he has started in the kitchen. So why don't we extend to the other rooms in the house and make sure that this house is completely clean? Other issues we can sort out later. But for now, we have this golden opportunity to clean house. So why don't we grab it with our 2 hands and 2 feet as well? Because if we don't, our children are going to judge us. Yes, history is going to judge us. But when I say history, people say, so what? Yeah, so I'll put it in that way. I'll say our children and our great-grandchildren are going to judge us. They're going to judge you. Deal with that. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.